I wanted to start this channel for a long time. I put it off thinking that I needed to be louder, more confident, or more interesting than I actually am. Somewhere along the way, I've kind of learned that maybe being quiet, figuring things out authentically and slowly, and showing up imperfectly is kind of the point of living. If you're someone like me in your 20s who still feels like they're becoming themselves and figuring things out slowly and perfectly, then this might be the place for you. And I realized I probably never introduced myself properly to you guys. I kind of just wanted to make this video as a way for you guys to get to know me. I realize a lot of people watching my videos are probably people that I know pretty well, but honestly guys, my channel has done a lot better than I ever expected. And no, I'm not talking about having thousands of views, but I'm just talking about the continuous support while I've been putting out content. And just I can't count or name 150 people off the top of my head, but somehow 150 people have watched a majority of my videos. So for that, I really do thank you guys. But I just wanted to open up this opportunity for you guys to maybe get to know me, and maybe engage with you a little bit, and just, you know, show you guys that we're not all that different. I had this idea that social media influencers were so vastly different than myself, and I'm realizing that's just not true. These are normal people who have normal lives. Sure, you have your handful of people who have a little bit more resource-wise than the rest of us, but then there's people who have less resource-wise than the rest of us, and they still make it. So that's something that I've had to figure out the hard way, or not even the hard way, but just like over and over having to convince myself that that is the truth. I'm 24 years old. I live on my own. I work a normal job. I work about 10 to 12 hour shifts 4 times a week. Currently, I'm working towards building a better life for myself. I'm realizing that the traditional way of things oh my God. The traditional way of doing things may not always be the way for you. And what I mean by that is I grew up in a pretty small town in Virginia, a pretty rural area, and there were not many ways to do things. You know, you live a very small town life. That is kind of it's just very slow living out there. I knew from a very young age that that was not gonna be maybe the life for me or what I wanted for myself. I just didn't really know exactly what that meant. I still don't, you know, I'm 24 years old and I still don't. I've always wanted to be pretty successful on my own. I've always had a pretty strong will and a strong mind when it comes to my own personal success and personal ventures. I would be lying if I said that I had it all figured out, you know what I mean? I graduated high school, you know, not super top of my class, but pretty decently top of my class, okay? I would say in the top part of my class, if you will. I had like a 4.7, 4.8 GPA when I graduated. I had millions of dollars in scholarships from all of the schools that I applied to go to college. I committed to Virginia Commonwealth University for chemical engineering. I pretty much had a full ride academically. I think the only thing that I had to pay for was like my room and board and my meal plan. I went to college and I was there for a little while, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's really hard for me to be vulnerable about this on social media because it's something that I'm still working through and struggling with. At that point in my life, I felt like I had things all figured out. I felt like, you know, I can go to school for engineering and I can do it. It's a piece of cake. I've never really struggled academically, but then I got there and I realized maybe I wasn't equipped with the tools that I needed to be on my own in that sense. And without getting into it too much, it just wasn't a good experience for me. Like I said, I still struggle with it a lot. I struggle with thinking, you know, I'm 24, and if I had stayed at college and stayed on that exact path, I would have 2 degrees, one in chemical engineering and one in mathematics. I would imagine it wouldn't be that difficult for me to find a decently paying job with a chemical engineering degree, especially considering all of the internship opportunities that I explored while I did go to VCU. I beat myself up about that a lot. But you know, I was in therapy when I went to VCU because of it. Just like I said, it just wasn't a good experience. I was in therapy when I went to VCU, and I came to my senses a little bit and realized, you know what, I don't really care who I disappoint. Even if I disappoint myself, I know that I don't feel good here, and I know that this is not the path that my soul really wants me to be on. Something deep inside of me knew that I wasn't meant to be there, and that's okay. Here I am years later. I mean, I was 17. 17 turning 18, my first year of college. I really was not that far away from my family. I was, if you know where VCU is, it's in Richmond, Virginia. I was not that far away from my family. I was within a drivable distance. I just really had a hard time, and that's okay. Like I said, here I am some years later. I'm gonna turn 25 this year, and I think it's time to let go of the guilt and the disappointment that I feel in myself for that, because I mean, it happened, and I need to let it go. I left VCU and I tried to stay in college. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the only reason I tried to stay in college classes and not really like drop out was because I didn't want to disappoint my family. Like I said, I never struggled academically. Never. I never had an issue in school. It was always understood that like I did my schoolwork. I was in, if you guys had this in your school district or whatever, I was in like talented and gifted, which is like tag, just like gifted class. I was in gifted for like from kindergarten all the way through like 7th grade. It was never academics that were the issue. But I tried to stay in school. I went to a community college near me. That just didn't work out. I tried to change majors a few times, and it wasn't working out. Somewhere along the way, I found myself working at a doggy daycare, and then therefore found myself in vet med. I fell in love with vet med very, very quickly. I've always loved animals. I've always had animals. It was something that became a passion of mine very, very quickly that I didn't really even know was a possibility. I kind of always cut off vet med because I was like, I can't sit there and watch animals sick and dying all the time. Like, I'm just too empathetic and too sensitive for that. I'm very empathetic and very sensitive, but that is just a superpower in the profession. So here I am in vet med. Again, I'm in school. I'm in school to get my veterinary technician license. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm in school now to work towards my veterinary technician license. It was just kind of a given. When I fell in love with vet med, I was like, okay, well, my family wants me to stay in school. I love vet med. I don't love engineering, don't love all this other stuff that I'm trying. Let's just jump into school for vet med. Looking back, I wish I'd never done that as soon as I did, or as early as I did. I wish I would have waited. But guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still figuring it out. I'm in it right now. I'm in school right now. And I'm struggling to figure it out, okay? It's very normal. Very, very normal. With the slightly difficult and slightly negative conversation, I wanted to kind of flip the script on myself a little bit, because this is something I'm trying to like enforce in my daily life, and it's not something that I'm doing just for the camera, but it's something that I truly am trying to enforce in my life. I've always excelled academically, therefore that is where a lot of weight has been put on me in my life. That's where a lot of focus has gone in my life. When you put so much weight into something like that that maybe somebody else wants you to work towards, but you yourself, it's not a value of yours, or it's not something that you're ready for, or whatever the reason might be, you start to feel very negative very fast. It kind of kills your confidence. It diminishes the light that you have. So something that I'm really trying to work on is like being proud of myself, because I was 17 when I went to college and I had a hard time. I had enough courage to walk away from that and try again, and try again, and try again, until I am here where I'm at right now. I'm 24 years old. I live on my own. I pay all of my bills. I do not ask my family for money. I do not ask for handouts. I show up to my job every day. I am very, very good at my job. I struggle, guys, but I'm still here. It is a Tuesday afternoon in February. I'm sitting outside. The sun is on my face. I'm wearing clothes that I bought for myself. Earlier, I went to Starbucks and treated myself to a coffee. My belly is full. Even though I'm not exactly where I want to be in my life, I'm still very proud of who I am and where I'm going, and the resilience I've had leading up to this point. Not even in my adult life, but in my childhood as well. Everybody has a sad story, okay? I'm very proud of myself for the resilience that I've shown. And here I am again, 24 years later, after trying again and trying again and trying again and trying again, and here I am trying again. YouTube, like I said, is something that I've always wanted to do, but I always thought that, you know, people don't care about me. I haven't done anything. I dropped out of college. People don't care about me. But I owe it to myself to try. Which kind of just brings me to the second part of this video. Something inside of me always kind of knew that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I wanted to do makeup professionally. I wanted to do something like that. It was like a light bulb going off inside of my soul when I found that little bit of a niche. And I did have the creative outlet. I did makeup all the time. It was just, I felt like I didn't have enough confidence to start the YouTube channel and stick with it. Especially considering, you know, like I said, I grew up in a very small town in Virginia. There's not many people out here doing this. You know, it's not normal. People look at you like you're crazy. When you're a kid, people don't have or other kids don't have nice things to say, you know? But I'm 24 now. I'm on Lexapro, and I owe it to myself to at least try. I've tried all of these other different things. They've gotten me this far, and that's fine. That's wonderful. I'm so proud to be so resilient. But I'm trying to go further, guys. So here we are. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just wrote down a few questions, a few little bullet points that I could talk about here. Am I an introvert or an extrovert? I'm largely an introvert. I am very, very shy. You guys already know this on my channel. It's called a Shy Girl Vlog series, okay? I'm very, very shy, but I will say I have like spurts where like I just have a really good day and I can be really, really outgoing. Also, taking Lexapro greatly has helped that. My anxiety used to be a +10, a +100, but now I feel like I can operate like a normal human being, have normal conversations, and not want to jitter out of my pants. I love the work that I do, but if any of you guys are familiar with vet med, you know that it's a push and pull relationship. I love my job most days. I also can't stand my job sometimes. That is a whole video within itself. If you guys are interested, or you guys want me to like delve deeper into the topic or just the world of vet med, I can tell you guys some crazy stories. I can tell you guys what it's like to like a day-to-day day in my life, what it's like working in vet med. I can go down that rabbit hole if you guys really want me to. That's just not the point of today's video. Lately, I've been really into doing workout classes. So I go to my gym, do workout classes. will come home, sit down, watch some like Real Housewives. Lately, I've been into this show called Shrinking on Apple TV. For the most part, I stick to myself. I'm very independent. I've always figured things out on my own, and that's how it's gonna be. That's how I'm gonna keep it. All right, well, I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek into my life, kind of slow this video down, sit down, talk to you guys, have a heart-to-heart, expose myself a little bit on the internet once again. This is a very uncomfortable transition for me in a lot of ways, because when I left that small town, I didn't really want anybody from the small town to know what I was doing, what I'm up to, anything. Nobody did anything wrong to me. I was very, you know, like I said, introverted, stayed out of the way, especially in like high school. I wasn't involved in drama or anything like that. That's not why I wanted to be so separate. It just, I didn't feel like that life aligned with me. You know, I was put there. I didn't put myself there. People that I spent time with when we were younger, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to me in knowing that we needed to get up out of there. It won't good for us. We needed to get out of there. We needed to go do our own thing. It's so cool to like step back, and there's people that I grew up with, that I was a little girl with. They're just out doing amazing things. They're graduating from college. They're having families. They're getting married. They're growing their careers. They're starting businesses. It's really, really cool. It's like when you step back and take the jealousy, take the small town mindset and just like get rid of it. It's really cool to see where everybody goes. And I think that applying that mindset or applying this mindset shift has helped me with my personal growth and accepting where I am in life right now, regardless of where everybody else is. Because none of y'all are me. None of y'all had to do what I had to do, because you're just not me and I'm not you. And that's just that. If you're still watching this video right now, comment cupcake. Let me know what you think about today's video. Let me know if you've been in my shoes before. Let me know what you have going on in life. Just let me know. I would love to know who all of the viewers are. I know who some of them are because of obvious reasons, just because they're my friends and my family, but I want to know who everybody is. So just drop a comment, give me a like, a thumbs up. Subscribe to me, please. If you guys like this chat, just let me know in the comments. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this beautiful day. I will catch you in the next one.